and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special show on News X. We are live to you from the Atal bridge at the Sabarmati riverfront in Ahmedabad. This is part of the Gandhinagar Lok Sabha constituency. This is, of course, the constituency that Home Minister Amit Shah currently represents in Parliament. It's a constituency that is represented in the past by former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, former Deputy Prime Minister L.K. Advani, and former Chief Minister Shankar Singh Waghela. It's also a seat where Rajesh Khanna, the famous film star, once fought, but interestingly he lost because perhaps he was on a Congress ticket and not a BJP one. This seat has been a stronghold of the BJP. We are joined by a very special panel today. We have with us Uday Mahurkar. He's a senior journalist and author. He was also, of course, former Information Commissioner of India. He's written several books on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He's seen his journey, of course, from Gujarat to Delhi very, very closely. We also have with us Binita Parekh. She's a senior journalist. We also have with us Jyoti Amin Patel. She's a political analyst. Also joining us is Pradeep Malik. He's Professor Mass Communication at PDEU. Padmini Singh Chauhan is a prominent citizen of Ahmedabad. She's an artist. She's also from the Chota Udaipur royal family. She's joining us today as well. Welcome all of you. Thank you so much for being with us today on News X. It's a beautiful sight today that we're seeing. One feels like singing a song here or perhaps going on a cruise here. You see a lot of boats also once in a while over here. But today, no talk of culture, no talk of sightseeing, only talk of politics, because tomorrow is voting day. 25 out of 26 seats are voting. One seat, remember, has already gone unopposed to the BJP, that is Surat. Uday Mahurkar, let me begin with you first. This is a very, very important seat, of course, that we are currently in. It's a seat of Home Minister Amit Shah. Now, Amit Shah is a star campaigner of the BJP. Yes. In fact, under his rule, the BJP abrogated Article 370. The BJP has been very tough on terror. And these are issues that the BJP believes will work in their favor, not just in other parts of the country, but mostly in their home state of Gujarat.
Yeah, everywhere in the country, for so to say, I'll tell you there are several factors which are affecting, which were impacting this entire election in Gujarat, elsewhere also, For example, a news report came a few weeks ago, that Hafiz Syed has got scared, and he has called a meeting of his people, Now, Hafiz Syed is someone who has been killing Indians for the last 30 years. Thousands of people have died because of Hafiz Syed's LET attacks. So, whatever the fact, we don't know. That is between Pakistan and Indian government, But then, this impression itself, that Hafiz Syed, whom Bharat used to fear, today is forced to hold a meeting for his own security, is a big thing. So these are impacting the elections. Gujarat is a stronghold. It's a home turf of the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. And if I recall, in the 1989 election, Advani ji won by only 1,500 votes in Delhi. And next thing he did was to shift to Gandhinagar in 1991. So it's very strong. Secondly, Gujarat is the laboratory of RSS and BJP. All what you see, their brand of governance started from Gujarat, and the ultimate symbol is the Prime Minister himself. Because my first book on him, Centrist Stage Inside the Narendra Modi Model of Governance, is the only book on his 13 years or 14 years rule in Gujarat. So Gujarat is the laboratory for RSS and BJP. Their vision of India it represents. So Gujarat, there might be fight on couple of seats, Even last time also when they won all the 26 seats, there was a talk of tough fight on couple of seats, So it can vary somewhat,
But then you're confident.
But Gujarat is completely under the sway of the BJP.
And Modi. Yes, the duo. That is Modi and Shah. Absolutely. And it's quite interesting, Binita ji, that despite the fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi moved to Delhi in 2014 as PM, it's quite interesting that despite Amit Shah ji became an MP in 2019 and then Home Minister, still the connect of Shah and Modi remains with Gujarat, and that somewhat has been instrumental in this BJP in Gujarat continuing to be a BJP stronghold either in Vidhan Sabha or of course in Lok Sabha, where it's been a clean sweep in 2014-2019. Why, ma'am?
The connect with the people is very strong. and they definitely consider that Modi hamare hain. So they are not voting just for BJP, they are voting for Modi. And that has been, in fact, the game changer since a long time. Also, you must have heard of the term page committees. So that is what the strategy of BJP has been for a very long time. Every society which comes under the booth is individually connected to by RSS and BJP workers. So that is where the connect comes from. They feel that hamara hi log hai, that heart-to-heart connect is definitely there. It's not to say that BJP has been in power for a long time. The BJP workers are a bit satisfied. There is so-called anti-incumbency wave. The expectations have not all been met. People are in power and there has to be resentment. Congress people have been taken laterally. There has been resentment. But in spite of all this, are they going to vote against their sons of soil? That conversion, I feel, is not going to happen. Chutput jagah pe, some places you will find some problems, but overall I do not think, especially in Gujarat and in this seat that we are standing in, there is no chance, there is no alternative, I feel, that Congress has been able to field and BJP has been able to really keep that connect alive, which is fantastic, but they have been able to keep that emotional connect also very strong and live.
No doubt. Before we get to a more political discussion, Padmini ji, let me quickly get you in on these beautiful, sights and sounds. And we're seeing the whole riverfront today. So many tourists here. We were speaking to some of them. So many of them have come from outside Gujarat. How much do you believe the culture of Gujarat has changed over the last few years, which has influenced the tourism? How much beautification has happened in Ahmedabad and other parts of the state?
Okay, so I'm an artist and also sculptor. So I have been working for AMC and we've done up around 10-15 sculptures for Ahmedabad, which has been put up at the Char Rastas. So there's a lot of good work with the AMC is doing in beautifying Ahmedabad. So, I mean, the Atal Bridge, there's so many other tourist spots and it's also a heritage city. So a lot of good work has been done by the AMC.
Which has obviously boosted tourism, hasn't it?
Definitely, it has boosted tourism. And yes, in Ahmedabad, it is a great spot for the tourists to come.
Often we see PM Modi also, come here. He's the one who inaugurated this bridge. He's been seen on a cruise on the riverfront. He's also he went to the Statue of Unity as well. Kevadia has also seen a big rise in tourism.
And I think for every sector, like be it the kids or the adults, there's always some tourist spot, like you have the Adalat Stepwell, you have the Kakaria Lake, and you have the Science City for the kids. So there are a lot of tourist spots for the people of India.
Professor Malik, as far as now this seat is concerned and it's MP Amit Shah, firstly, why is this seat such a stronghold of the BJP? It's such a VIP seat, in particular Gandhinagar. And as far as Amit Shah is concerned, just talk a bit about his rise in stature as well. Of course, being the core number 2 for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but being this Chanakya who people, speak about, who orchestrates these, election wins back to back, not just, of course, in Gujarat and this region, but across the country.
Yeah, this Gandhinagar has been a very important seat for them, and you can see BJP believes in symbolism a lot. And you can see since early 90s, this seat has been given to the biggest face of the BJP, whoever it was at that point. So if you start with 1991, that time Shankar Singh Waghela was with BJP. He was a big leader of BJP. Later on, whatever happened, that's a different thing, but he was a big leader. So it went to him. And then when Mr. Advani decided to change his constituency from Delhi, he came here. And since then, he has been represented. In between, there was a small phase when Mr. Advani decided not to contest. And then who comes here? None less than Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee himself. Of course, he left the seat, went to somebody else, Vijay Patel, a small-time party worker, but his father was a big leader. His father was the assembly speaker. So, and after that again, Mr. Advani came back, and then when Mr. Advani became a little, he was asked to retire, or he decided to retire. Who is the next person? Mr. Amit Shah. Almost number 2 or number 3 in the cabinet. So this seat has been very important. BJP has always told its voters here, its electorate here, that look, we take you very seriously, we'll do whatever is needed for you, and for that we'll send the biggest leader of ours. So this seat has been very important for them. That is the answer to your first part of the question. And what was the second that you were asking me about?
The rise of Mr. Shah.
Oh, rise of Mr. Shah. Mr. Shah has only seen rise ever since he has been, from his young days when he was a youth leader, young voter, or young worker. He was very, very active worker, remember that. And then when Mr. Modi was the chief minister here, he was almost his right-hand person, Man Friday. Any problem, he would go to him. And then remember, Mr. Shah had a toehold in cooperative movement here, cooperative banks here. And cooperative has been a very, very dominant factor in Gujarat politics. In other states also, like in Maharashtra, it has Maharashtra, Andhra, Telangana, today's Telangana. So Mr. Shah had a toehold in cooperatives, and they realized that to dislodge Congress from Gujarat, they needed to capture the cooperatives. And Mr. Amit Shah has done it so cleverly, so silently, nobody knew. And the cooperative is under the BJP's thumb, almost. So these are some of the factors that has been very, very...
in his rise. Okay. मैं आपसे जानना चाहूँगा मैम कि आपके नज़रिए में ज्योति जी कौन से मुख्य मुद्दे इस बार उभर के आए हैं गुजरात में, मतदाताओं के मन में क्या कुछ चलेगा का?
देखिए, मुद्दों की तो कमी नहीं है। काफ़ी मतलब ऐसी गलतियां हुई है, बीजेपी से नाराज़ भी हैं लोग, लेकिन दिक्कत यह है कि विकल्प नहीं है। अब देखिए, कांग्रेस यहाँ पे जनाधार खो चुकी है। अब जो मतलब समझिए 30 साल से यहाँ पर है बीजेपी, तो जो 35-40 तक के मतदाता हैं, तो वो जब से बच्चे थे तो उन्होंने सिर्फ बीजेपी का शासन देखा है, तो वो सिर्फ बीजेपी के बारे में सोच सकते हैं। और जो उससे बड़ी उम्र के मतदाता हैं, उन्होंने कांग्रेस का राज देखा है, तो उस वक्त कैसे दंगे फसाद कर्फ्यू रहते थे, तो वो उसे रिपीट करना नहीं चाहते। तो मतलब दोनों उम्र के जो मतदाता है वो कांग्रेस को नहीं चाहते। और सबसे बड़ी कमी कांग्रेस की ये रही है कि उन्होंने यहाँ खड़ा होना चाहा ही नहीं फिर, क्योंकि अब जो संगठन टूटता जा रहा है, वो उसे वापस बनाने की भी कोशिश नहीं कर रहे हैं, और ना ही लोगों के मुद्दे लेके मतलब विपक्ष की भूमिका कर रहे हैं। अब जब विपक्ष के तरह से आप अगर मजबूत नहीं है तो लोग आपको सत्ता पक्ष कैसे देंगे?
गठबंधन भी बना है फिर भी फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा?
नहीं, फर्क यहाँ पे कुछ है ही नहीं।
आम आदमी पार्टी के साथ,
हाँ, आम आदमी पार्टी का जो चैतर वसावा है वो फाइट जरूर देगा भरूच की सीट पे। उमेश मकवाणा का 50-50 है, लेकिन हाँ, चैतर वसावा काफ़ी एग्रेसिव लीडर है, तो वो दे रहा है फाइट। लेकिन वहाँ पे क्या होगा अभी पता नहीं है, क्योंकि वहाँ पे 7वीं टर्म है जो नारायण राठवा है, मनसुख राठवा, तो उनसे थोड़ी एंटी इनकम्बेंसी है लोगों के।
से भी बात कर लेते हैं, कुछ लोगों से भी बात कर लेते हैं। यहाँ काफ़ी पब्लिक भी इकट्ठा हो गई है। आप बताइए कहाँ से आए हैं आप? राजकोट घूमने आए हैं यहाँ कल ओनली फॉर गुड। तो कल वापस जाएंगे वोट डालने के लिए? या
रूपाला साहब
जीत रहे हैं? बड़ा विरोध हो रहा है आजकल उनका? कुछ नहीं,
कोई विरोध नहीं है। पूरा 4 लाख से लीड से जीतेगा।
आप बताइए बीजेपी ने, अच्छा मोरबी से आप, वहाँ तो पुल गिर गया था, बड़ा वो मुद्दा पॉलिटिकल बन गया था, मगर फिर भी बीजेपी के समर्थक यहाँ?
बीजेपी
वजह क्या है? इतने सालों से ये बीजेपी का गढ़ रहा है, वजह क्या है?
मोदी सरकार ने किया ही कुछ ऐसा है कि हम मोदी सरकार को ही चुनेंगे ना। काम ही ऐसा करते हैं वो।
सबसे बढ़िया क्या काम लगता है आपको?
सब काम, एक भी काम ऐसा नहीं है कि हाँ, अयोध्या
विधवा पेंशन, राहत में બધું રેશન કાર્ડ નું।
अच्छा, राशन कार्ड नु बहुत काम करू छे। हाँ, बहुत काम करू छे। चलिए, लोग बड़ी खुश हैं। चलिए कुछ और लोगों से भी बातचीत कर लेते हैं। यू कैन सी अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल, ऑफ कोर्स। आप सेल्फी ले रहे हैं यहाँ। ब्रिज बड़ा पसंद आ गया आपको?
पहली बार आया, इसलिए
पहली बार आए। कहाँ से आए हैं?
बॉम्बे से।
ओह वाओ, बॉम्बे। आपको
ये लोकेशन
आपको पता है यहाँ पोलिंग हो रही है कल?
यस, हो रही है कल।
क्या लग रहा है, माहौल क्या है?
माहौल क्या है, अब की बार 400 पार।
अच्छा, अब की बार 400 पार। चलिए, ये बड़ी दिलचस्प। जतिन रावल भी हमारे संग जुड़ गए हैं। ही इज ऑफ कोर्स आवर लोकल ब्यूरो हेड हियर। ही इज बीन कवरिंग द गुजरात इलेक्शंस एक्सटेंसिवली फॉर ITV नेटवर्क। सो व्हाट्स द बज ऑन ग्राउंड जतिन? क्या माहौल है जमीनी स्तर पे? और ये जो मोदी शाह का जो कनेक्ट है ये बरकरार है, हम देख रहे हैं। दे मे हैव शिफ्टेड टू दिल्ली and PM of course may have shifted to Varanasi as MP, but the connect with Gujarat remains.
जी देखिए बिल्कुल आपको बता दूं उदय जी कि जिस तरह से यहाँ पे जो ग्राउंड में अभी जो माहौल है वो आपको दिख ही रहा है। आपने जितने भी लोगों से बातचीत की उससे आपको अंदाजा आ गया होगा किस तरह का माहौल यहाँ पर लोकसभा 2024 के चुनाव को लेकर है। लोगों में जब जितने भी लोगों से बातचीत की है सभी लोगों का कहना है कि इस बार भी 400 के पार जो है वो मोदी की सरकार बनेगी। जी
आप बताइए।
भारत के भाग्य विधाता है आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री। हिंदुस्तान ने कभी देखा नहीं था कि यहाँ पे आयुष्मान भारत जैसी योजना आई थी। सोशल सिक्योरिटी देने का काम आदरणीय वडाप्रधान श्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी साहब ने किया है। गुजरात की जनता नीतियों को देख के वोटिंग कर रही है। गुजरात की जनता ने तय किया है जो हमारी नेक्स्ट इलेक्शन के लिए काम करने वाला नहीं चाहिए, हमारी नेक्स्ट जनरेशन के लिए जो काम कर रहा हो ऐसा नेता चाहिए जिनकी नीति साफ हो, जिनकी नीयत साफ हो और जो नेता का चरित्र साफ हो। ऐसे भारत के भाग्य विधाता आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री को चुनने की राह गुजरात की जनता ने ठाना है।
आप बताइए साहब, कहाँ से आए हैं आप? यहाँ
हम राजस्थान से आए हैं।
अरे राजस्थान से आए हैं, घूमने आए हैं, पहली बार आए हैं। कैसा लग रहा है ये अटल ब्रिज?
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अच्छा है एकदम।
जा रहे
किसके नाम है ये ब्रिज?
अभी आए हम अभी
अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी। हाँ उनके नाम है। आपको पता है सांसद थे वो यहाँ के? पता ही है?
नहीं मालूम है सर।
ये वहाँ के यहाँ के सांसद है, इस वजह से उनके ऊपर नाम पड़ा है। तो कुछ पर्यटक थे, उनसे हम बात कर रहे थे। लॉट ऑफ पीपल ऑफ कोर्स हियर, एज यू कैन सी इट्स सो ब्यूटिफुली डन अप, ऑफ कोर्स द साबरमती रिवर फ्रंट एरिया, and it's something that of course the BJP has spoken about as one of the pet projects of course PM Modi, and of course the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has been carrying out these development works. We were of course speaking to Padmini. She's an artist who has been, you know, one of the sculptors of course who's worked on a lot of the projects here. Let's quickly speak before we go back. We'll carry on a discussion with Jatin. Jatin, कल यहाँ वोटिंग है, कौन-कौन वोट डालने वाला है यहाँ कल?
जी देखिए बिल्कुल यहाँ पर जो है सबसे वीवीआईपी मूवमेंट जो है वो यहीं पर होने वाली है, क्योंकि यहाँ पर जो रानीप में जो निशान स्कूल है, निशान स्कूल के अंदर पीएम जो नरेंद्र मोदी है जिनका जो मत विस्तार आता है वहाँ पर वो वोट डालने वाले। साथ ही जो कामेश्वर महादेव है जहाँ पे पॉइंट है वहाँ पर भारत के जो केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री है अमित भाई शाह वो यहाँ पर वोट डालने वाले। साथ ही जो उत्तर प्रदेश के जो राज्यपाल है आनंदीबेन पटेल वो भी जो है यहाँ पर वोट डालने वाले हैं। यानी कि बहुत सारे वीवीआईपी जो मूवमेंट है वो यहाँ पर होने वाले।
वीवीआईपी एरिया है, इस वजह से हम यहाँ पहुंचे। That's why we of course are here to get you the most extensive coverage tomorrow. We'll go back of course to our panelists who also continue to be with us. Uday Mahurkar, let me get you in here. You know, it's quite interesting, Mr. Mahurkar, that so many people, of course, still speaking so highly of Modi and Shah. Modi, interestingly, people are saying how beautifully he's done up Kashi. It's quite interesting, the two contrasts between PM Modi and Rahul Gandhi. PM Modi won from 2 seats, left Vadodara, went to Varanasi, but yet the people of Vadodara don't resent him because he carried on going back to the region and doing development there. Whereas Rahul Gandhi, interestingly, was seen very less in Amethi after he won from Wayanad, and in fact now he's gone to Raebareli. So the contrast evident, you believe?
I mean, everybody can see it, you know. I mean, Rahul Gandhi's understanding of politics is extremely poor as compared to Mr. Modi's. There is no comparison. And secondly, the biggest, I would say, problem of Congress is that it is not able to come out of its politics of minority appeasement. It's completely in the grip of minority appeasement politics, you know. Fighting from Wayanad, for example. Wayanad is an out-and-out minority constituency, you know. And all sorts of elements are there. There might be some moderate Muslims also, you know. All sorts of radical elements are there in Wayanad, correct? So, Congress, the manifesto and the Congress policies and its vision, if I am not overstretching, is similar to the demands which Jinnah raised before he demanded Pakistan, which is between 1928 and 30. He was talking about majoritarianism, same Congress is talking about, correct? So, this contrast is, you know, on the other hand, Mr. Modi is number one on national security, number one on foreign relations, number one on development. There is no area under him, under the present NDA government, which has not progressed. There is not a single area. Railway, aviation, take any area, you know. So there is a big contrast.
Oh, you know, you are also, of course, associated with the All India Kshatriya Mahasabha here in Gujarat. That emerged as a bit of an issue this time around. But interestingly, you know, people of Rajkot, we were just speaking to, still backing Mr. Rupala, which is perhaps why the BJP decided not to change him as their candidate.
So there was a lot of anger initially from the Kshatriya communities against Purushottam Rupala, but because we don't have a strong opposition, so we don't really have much of a choice but to vote for BJP. And we were always with BJP initially. It was just a small case where he said a few things against the community, which sprouted the anger. But I think most of the Kshatriyas are with BJP.
He apologized after that.
He did apologize 2-3 times after that. So I think the matter is resolved, and we are with the BJP.
Okay. How has, you know, the BJP managed to beat this in anti-incumbency, which often sets in, you know, when one has been in governance for so long? There was, interestingly, that one election, you know, not this last one, but the one before that, where we saw the Congress come close. But then, of course, the BJP won at the end of the day. I was covering that election. We were outside the BJP office, and at one point it became neck to neck. A lot of the BJP leaders retreated inside the office. Then, of course, the BJP won. And then last election, we saw they completely turned the tide again. So how have they beaten anti-incumbency both in Vidhan Sabha and in Lok Sabha, ma'am? And are you confident that streak will continue?
I think I'm pretty confident that this streak will continue.
How have they beaten that? Is it a personal connect of Modi Shah? Is it the the fact that they've changed chief ministers here when they scented anti-incumbency?
Chief ministers, almost all the faces.
Yeah, ministers also, deputy CM also.
Exactly, and that is the beauty of this strategy that has worked here, I believe, that Amit Shah and Narendra Modi are showing a constant factor and an emotional connectivity, while the faces which people are genuinely voting for keep on changing. So, अकेले मोदी क्या करेंगे? But मोदी को support दो. This combination is working. Plus, there is an emotional angle. If you see, even in this election, what are they doing? They are talking of development, but they are going and visiting temples. So, a combination of development plus the emotional agenda is always together. And they just happen to get this correct. The emotional angle as well as the development angle. This time they are harping on emotional angle through words, but the action is more emotional. They have changed people. They say that, okay, you are voting for Modi, not for the people who have failed you. And that seems to work. Every time you see new faces, so you are not endorsing the people you are voting for, but you are voting for Narendra Modi. That has worked, and that emotional appeal is working.
I would like to add, his selection of the chief minister in Gujarat particularly is now turning out to be quite good, in the sense that he has a very he has an image which is one of the most fair, I would say, and he's seen as a very spiritual person. So selection of people here, the chief minister itself is also proves that he has chosen the right people,
And he took this model of Gujarat development to the nation. And obviously the nation accepted that. And, interestingly, he's ensured that the Gujarat growth continues, even in his absence as CM, but as PM.
So this Gujarat model of development has been talked about quite a lot. But there is more talk to it, and there is a little less substance in that, as much as the publicity has been given to it. Remember, despite the fact that Gujarat is definitely a developed state, per capita income is definitely pretty high. But remember, it is not number one on any of the major parameters. In fact, on a couple of parameters, it ranks a little low, especially on the nutrition side. But remember, in politics, it's how you communicate.
Perception. This is often where the opposition fails.
Absolutely. How you communicate to the people and how you build the perception. So there is a story to be told, a narrative to be created, which BJP has mastered like no other party has ever done. So what happens? They say that Modi model or Gujarat model of development, and people in the train they will be talking about. Remember, train, it's a, quite a lot.
I just want to quickly interrupt you and show you, it's quite interesting over here. There is the cruise that you can see over there now, as I was telling you all earlier, that of course sometimes the cruise boats pass over here. And if you just saw that Har Ghar Mein Modi, Har Dil Mein Modi was coming there. So clearly, of course, political posturing continuing, even on cruises. That's marketing. That's what you were talking about.
Exactly. They do not miss any opportunity. They do not miss any opportunity, small opportunity, and they will latch on to it. This is what BJP does. Remember, it is electoral politics. You may say that it's a bit cheap to be publicizing yourself all the time. Well, fine.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.